Tonight I am making a quick teriyaki chicken. So I've got some fresh pineapple here that I just trimmed off all of the pineapple skin from. And I'm going to cut this in half. And then I'm going to use probably half of it. It's going to take out that core, that thick core here in the center. Make sure I get it all. Same with this one. And then I'm just going to cut it up into some chunks. I did try to get as many as the pokey things from the skin off as I could. You can also, if you don't want the seeds and stuff in there, you can dig those out. I do have a pan here that's lined with non-stick Reynolds wrap. That's what I'm going to be cooking everything in. And I'm just going to throw that right into my pan. And you can put as much or little as you want. I just like the fresh pineapple in here. I think it's delicious. Teriyaki is definitely one of those things that you can kind of put whatever you want in. One more piece. That should be good. And then I will just move that off to the side. I'm going to wash my hands really quick. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to put in, I've got some broccoli here that's already been washed. Again, you can use whatever you want. I'll just cut these up a little bit. And I'm going to throw that in with the pineapple. Then I have a bell pepper here that I'm going to also throw in. Now, the seeds and the white membrane you can eat. If you don't like that, you can just take it out. So this is a yellow bell pepper. You could do a red bell pepper, an orange bell pepper, whatever you like. And I'm just gonna throw those in. Okay, save a little piece for Gary, Pomeranian, who is circling under my feet like a little shark. He loves bell peppers and he hasn't had any. He's maybe had it once since summer because we grew bell peppers over the summer, so he got his fill. And truth be told, he doesn't really love the store-bought bell peppers. He really likes the ones from the garden. Interestingly, my wild bunny in my backyard also doesn't like lettuce from the grocery store. It just likes the lettuce from the garden. Gee, I wonder why. Sarcasm. Okay, so I'm gonna move these out of the way for Gary, and I'm gonna go ahead and do half of a yellow onion next. And this is a sweet yellow onion. And I'm gonna leave these pieces kind of similar to how I did I don't want this on there, what do you call it? The bell peppers. All right, words are apparently hard today. So I'm just gonna kind of cut these, and then I will this part off. And then I'm just going to separate them and throw them into the dish as well throughout. Pretty easy. As I mentioned, you can literally use whatever vegetables you want to go into your teriyaki chicken for the veg portion. I will do some jasmine rice as well to go with this. And then I'll brown off the chicken. I'll throw that in there. And then it's gonna cook with the teriyaki sauce. I like to do it this way because you get a lot of flavor from that teriyaki sauce when the vegetables are cooked in it. Cutting off any parts that might be a little bit tough from the peel of the onion. And that's it. So this is ready to go. I'll put some garlic in here too. Then I will brown the chicken off and I will put the chicken in here and just bake it until everything is delicious. Okay, I have some air chilled chicken breasts from Costco here. I've got my veg all ready to go. I'm gonna just use some sweet baby rice, sweet teriyaki. You could also use Yoshido's. You could make homemade. If you want to learn how to make homemade, you can go to the website. I'm gonna put some granulated garlic and some onion powder just for more flavor on that veg. Some salt. Those will be ready to go. All right, so I'm gonna cut up this chicken. It's a little bit frozen still, but that's okay. Into some bite-sized pieces. As I mentioned, these are air-chilled chicken breasts from Costco. It's nice that they have air-chilled now. So what I'll do is I'll just cut these up into more bite-sized pieces, and then I'm going to brown them off in a cast iron pan. And then once my veg is all cooked up, then I will toss the cooked chicken with it. So I'm gonna brown them off, let them cook down until they reach the appropriate temperature. You could throw this all in, but because this is slightly frozen, I don't want a bunch of that white sort of goo juice all over everything. So I'm just gonna do these in a separate pan. I can also control the check on them to make sure that they are cooked all the way through. I can also pull it off once they're cooked. Whereas when you throw it in with the veg mix, if the veggies aren't all cooked, like for example, if you wanted to throw some carrots in, carrots take a lot longer to cook. So your chicken, because it's in bite-sized pieces, it might, in that situation, get overcooked. So I'll just cook them on the stove, and then once they're done, I will toss it in, and then they can get heated, through with the veg medley. All right, so that looks good. I'm gonna wash my hands, and I will put some garlic and onion on this as well, and then cook it with some olive oil. And then once it's all browned off and cooked, it'll be ready to go. In the meantime, I'm going to put the veg in the oven and let those cook. I will sprinkle a little bit of olive oil on it, and then I will, at the end, add the teriyaki sauce, just so the teriyaki sauce doesn't burn. Okay, it's gonna be fabulous. All right, so I brought the veg over to the stove. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of olive oil, and into the oven we go. So next I have my cast iron pan here, and I've got my chicken right here, and I'm just gonna brown that off. Make sure this is all nice and coated. And then I'll just add my chicken in. I'm gonna let this brown off, and that'll be it for the chicken. Get it all nice and browned off and cooked all the way through. Because I am using a cast iron pan, I could technically brown this off and throw it in the oven. So that's totally up to you, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna brown it off, make sure it's cooked all the way through, and then that'll be our chicken. I will put a little garlic and onion powder on here, and I do have olive oil in the pan. All right, so I've got my chicken all in there, and I'm going to do a little bit of granulated garlic. I'm gonna do a little bit of onion powder and a little bit, I'm trying to do this with one hand, a little bit of salt. This is a kosher diamond salt, diamond crystal salt. That's my favorite. And then right before I put everything together, I will do a little bit more salt and some pepper to taste. So I'm gonna let these cook up. All right, so my chicken is looking really good. I'm just double checking the temperature of the thick pieces here. I want to make sure that we get up to, 165. So we're almost there. We're pretty darn close. I did hit these with a little bit of sesame seed, pure sesame oil, toasted sesame oil, just for extra flavor. But you can see they're nice and golden. We don't want these to be dried out because that's not tasty. Okay. And there you have it. I am right at the right temperature. So stove is off, and now I'm just gonna wait for my veg to get done, and we'll be ready to assemble. So my veg is out, and this is looking really good. I'm gonna go ahead and add my chicken in. All that goodness in there. All that fond, bottom of the pan. All right. Oops, sorry. Okay, so just wanted to clean my oil up a little bit. And then I just have some teriyaki sauce here. This is sweet baby rice, and I'm gonna add that in a little bit at a time. Mix it in. You can put as much or as little as you would like, but I just want to kind of coat everything. And then I'm just gonna set it in the oven to keep it warm until my rice is done cooking. There you go. So delicious. Super quick weeknight meal. So I'm making a quick little salad to go with some teriyaki chicken that I'm gonna have for dinner tonight. And I'm making a quick little dressing. Don't really need exact measurements for, but I have some mayonnaise here. I have some seasoned rice vinegar. Stir that up, shake it up a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit of that in there. And I've got a little bit of sugar, put a little bit of sugar in there. And then I'm gonna mix this together. And I will add some more of the rice vinegar if need be to thin it out. Probably could have used a smaller whisk, but whatever. I'm gonna add a little bit more just to thin it out. Definitely needs a little more sweetness. You could also use like stevia or coconut sugar. Great, perfect. So I'm gonna set that off to the side. Bring my bowl over and I am going to put my cucumber in there. So I just have a cucumber that I've chopped up. Got a little bit of carrot that I chopped up. I'm gonna add a little more carrot here towards the end to make some room. If you're not making a mess, you're not having fun. Okay, then I have some cabbage that I'm just going to cut up into some thin pieces. This is just leftover cabbage from making dumplings the other night. So this is always a great thing to just add into a salad. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the bowl as well. Then I've got some romaine, and I'm also gonna add in. These have been washed. You can also dry them off a little bit more if you want, but because the salad dressing is a little bit thicker, I don't care. The water will thin it out even more. Probably could have got a smaller cutting board. Just kidding. Who haven't used this knife in a while? My favorite knife is not clean right now, and I'm too lazy to go over and clean it. So we're gonna add this lettuce in there as well. Grab my salt, a little salt, and move this out of my way. Bring my carrot back over, and I'm just gonna do a little more shredded carrot on here. So that's about half of a carrot, maybe a little less. Okay, and I'm gonna go get my utensils, add my dressing, make sure it's all nice and coated. A little taste. So good. A little pepper. That's it. Any leftover salad dressing, you can just keep it in the refrigerator and make another salad to enjoy. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and plate. This is all ready to go. I've made some steamed rice. I'm just gonna plate up the rice. Yum. And then I've got my teriyaki medley here. Some of the pineapple in there, a couple pieces of broccoli. Oops, broccoli fell. Clean my plate up a little bit. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add my salad. All right, and there you have a delicious weeknight meal.